Welcome back to Statistical Swinging, a production of the Untouchables podcast, previewing another golf tournament. As this week we got the RBC Canadian Open coming up. Before that, though, let's look at what our results were for last week. We didn't have anything on Scotty Scheffler. He went out, dominated that tournament, really the last 2 days, really coming in, putting on a show to win his fourth tournament of the year and his eighth consecutive top 10. He's not competing this week, so we don't have to worry about anything with Scotty. Also, with last week, we were able to cash Sepp Straka top 10 and Taylor Pendrith top 20. We were just a shot off of getting Pendrith in that top 10. So Straka was in it for a little bit, trying to compete for that title. Just a little slow start to the week, maybe really kept him out of contention there. Still got him inside that top 10, though. We missed out on Bazoon Hooten Highsmith, who missed the cut. And then Denny McCarthy played a really good first 2 days, was really in the thick of it, had a good chance. He could have stuck himself out and was his way into that top 10 for us. Unfortunately, over the weekend, he played some really bad golf, finished really like right there at the bottom of the players that actually did make the cut. So in total on that, we're down 1/5 unit there. So nothing crazy, nothing bad. Like about a break even tournament. We hope to do better. We are going to do better this weekend. And with this tournament here, the RBC Canadian Open, it'll be held at TPC Toronto in Osprey Valley in Caledon, Ontario. It's a 7,389 yard par 70. So we're putting more into the extreme than this week. You need to be good with your iron, be able to hit greens, be good with the putter. Not only that, not this tournament, but the course is unfamiliar to most of the players in this field. TPC Toronto has not been used as a PGA course yet in its lifespan, so we haven't seen many players in this field. They haven't even really played this course before, so we're going to see a lot of newcomers coming to this and just their experience at this course. So whether it's your 15th year on tour or second, you got about the same experience when it comes to this course in particular. The favorite in this tournament is Rory McIlroy, and kind of like with Scotty last week, we don't have anything with Rory in this tournament. I know hopefully it doesn't bite us in the butt like Scotty did last week, where he just went in and cruised to that victory over at Muirfield. But Rory, he's ever since the Masters, he's not been playing up to his level, especially that we saw earlier this year, whether it be at Pebble Beach or at Augusta. And he took off last week at Jack's Place with the Memorial. So this is going to be like a tune-up tournament for Rory before the U.S. Open next week at Oakmont. And it seems like, at least in my eyes, we're not going to be seeing Rory. He's more just making sure the game's all good, everything's all right before the major. Not like he's going to be ultra-aggressive pushing for this trophy. And we have seen his iron play has slowed down ever since that Augusta victory as well. He's lost a couple strokes each tournament since then with his iron play. And so we don't have anything with Rory. He is the favorite at plus 450. We don't got anything with him. We got some names here, top 10s, top 20s. And we got a couple other winner flyers. Like, I don't think I said this last week, but on all my 10s and 20s, I do put a full unit on all of those, maybe a little more if I'm really liking it. And then with winners, I'm only throwing 2/5 of a unit or 0.4 units on there. Go doing nothing crazy in there because, I mean, it's a winner. That's very hard to, kind of look at and predict for a golf tournament. So starting off with our bets for this week at the RBC Canadian Open, we have Sam Burns. I have him top 20 at plus 125 and top 10 at plus 250. Sam Burns is in the midst of the best stretch of his career right now, where in his last 5 starts, he has 4 top 10s. That includes another top 10 last week at Muirfield, where in that tournament on Friday, he had the second best round of his career in terms of strokes gained, where in that round he gained 8.01 strokes. So not only that, piled on top of the 4 top 10s, he's playing some of the best golf of his career right now, and on a course that no one knows. Putting is going to be important. People aren't going to know the right misses or the exact right parts of the greens when it's a very unfamiliar course for all of them. That Sam Burns is first on the tour this year in strokes gained putting. So to get him on those greens, as long as he's around those greens, he's going to be one of the best putters we have on the field. He's leading the tour in strokes gained with the putter right now, with that flat stick. And I think we're going to be in for a very good week of Sam Burns here Maybe we see him break into the winner's circle. I don't have a winner's ticket on Sam Burns, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see him competing down the stretch on Sunday. The next player we do have is one of my flyers to win. It's Shane Lowry. I have him top 10 at plus 190. And then, like I said, about zero point 0.4 units on him to win at plus 2,200. Shane Lowry this year has 9 top 25s in 13 starts. That includes 4 top 10s and 2 runner-ups. He's one of only a handful of players in this field that do have multiple PGA Tour wins. He has 3 of them, and he's been trying to break back into the circle this season. Like I said, where he has 2 runner-ups as well this year. Shane Lowry is playing some amazing golf as of right now. And not only that, he's third on the PGA Tour this season in approach shots and strokes gained like on approach. So we're seeing Lowry win after the tee shot. He's been one of the best on tour in getting there up around the greens or on the greens, green in regs. That this could be where we finally see Shane Lowry break through, get back into that winner circle right on time before the U.S. Open and then the British Open and right around his homeland of Ireland in just about a month. So Shane Lowry playing some of his best golf. I think this could be where we see him not only finish in top 10, but get back into that winner circle. So I have him, yeah, top 10 at plus 190, and then to win at plus 2,200. The next golfer we have is a little bit of a home country pick where I have Mackenzie Hughes. I have him top 20 at plus 160. Well, he might be a little inconsistent with his game this year. He does have 3 top 10s in his last 9 starts. It does also include a couple missed cuts around there. But with him, he's being a Canadian, even though this isn't his home part of Canada, all of these Canadians, no matter where they are in this country, they take the RBC Canadian Open very seriously. All of these want to win, put on in front of their home country, in front of their home fans. This could be a big week for Mackenzie Hughes. Where, like I said, 3 top 10s in his last 9 starts. And in this tournament last year, he was tied second going into that Sunday round, ended up finishing in a tied for 7th. So in Canada, Mackenzie Hughes has been showing up, already has a top 10 in this tournament last year, albeit at a different course, but still a top 10. And he's going to be playing hard, try to put on for that country. So while I might not be as aggressive as some, putting Mackenzie Hughes top 10, top 5, I do like him top 20 here at plus 160.
We interrupt this episode of the Untouchables podcast to tell you about Scratch Golf and Lounge in Westminster. Are you looking for a place to relax and hang with your friends while playing golf? Scratch Golf and Lounge is the premier indoor golf simulator, offering a wide variety of courses on 5 separate bays. Not only that, they offer a wide variety of local cocktails, beers, and wine, as well as some phenomenal small bites and snacks. So rain or shine, no matter the weather, there's a spot for you to fill in that golf itch at Scratch Golf and Lounge, located at 8700 West 101st Ave, Westminster. That's Scratch Golf and Lounge at 8700 West 101st Ave, Westminster. And now, let's get back to the episode.
The next player I like is a popular pick among a lot of the people inside the golf world. It's Erik van Rooyen. I have him top 20 at plus 300. Then I'm throwing a flyer on him to win at plus 90,000, where Van Rooyen has been a very inconsistent player, really, over these last couple of years. That's why we don't also see me stacking top 10 in here as well. Because while he might be playing really good one week, you don't know what you're getting day to day, week to week with Erik van Rooyen. But one thing to know with him, and that's going to be really good, just 4 weeks ago at the CJ Cup at Byron Nelson, when Scotty Scheffler dominated to that victory, Van Rooyen finished second. He finished second in that tournament. That was just 4 weeks ago. And then just a couple days ago, on the longest day of golf, the U.S. Open qualifier, 36 holes one day, Van Rooyen cruised to winning his qualifier, not just qualifying to the U.S. Open. He won his course, the U.S. Open qualifier, by 6 shots. Dominated that field, 36 holes one day. So he's feeling it right now. He's feeling some of his best golf. And when you're hot, you're hot. So Van Rooyen top 20, I like at plus 300. I think that's great odds. And then with how good he's playing right now, yeah, I'm throwing a flyer on him to win at plus 90,000. Just like before yesterday, before he went off, he was plus 100,000 to win the tournament. And then he goes off. Because I'm recording this on a Tuesday night. Just yesterday, he was plus 100,000 to win the tournament. So we already saw it take a big jump. I still think at plus 90,000, it's worth a flyer. It is 100% worth a flyer. And then the last and final player I liked in this week's field is Cameron Young inside the top 20 at plus 210. Cameron Young has been a little inconsistent with his finishes on tour right here, but something that I think bodes well for him going into this weekend is he has a couple stats really in his favor. Uh, Cameron Young this year is second on tour in strokes gained off the tee. He's one of the longest hitters we have on tour. Not only that, he's finding fairways, finding great spots to miss where it might be the shortcut, edge of the fairway. Or he's been one of the most consistent drivers on tour. That's going to be great, again, for a unfamiliar course. Not only that, he's 21st in proximity to hole on his approach shots. So he's a top 25 in these approach shots, getting it closest to the hole. And then on top of that, while he's second in strokes gained, 21st proximity to hole, 15th on tour in strokes gained tee to green. So not only can he be long off the tee, he's hitting those good shots onto the green. And when he gets to the green, he's 12th on tour on putts per green in regulation. So when he's reaching it, it's not like he's getting there, two putting everything, maybe throwing in a three putt. No, he's 12th on tour this season on putting when it comes to putts per green in reg. He's been one of the better putters on tour this season. And then to throw that on top with the putting, he's third this season on converting greens and regs to par breakers, whether that be eagles or birdies. He's third on tour this year, and when he's getting these greens and regs, finding one putts, or if it's a par five, maybe getting there in two putting, four birdies, getting these red numbers. Well, yeah, he might be a little accustomed to maybe a blow up here or there, a bad couple stretches of holes. I like what all these numbers are telling us with Cameron Young. I'm gonna throw it out once again. Yes, it's a very unfamiliar golf course for most of these golfers. So if Cameron Young's able to be one of the best in the field off the tee, and then one of the best in the field as well on tee to green, and then putting, he's going to be one of the best. Well, I don't have him top 10. I don't have maybe a winner's flyer as some people might have. I think if you get him top 20 at plus 210, I think that's great odds to see Cameron Young, because I think we could very well see him maybe push inside that top 10. I'm not going to have a ticket on him top 10, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if we see a very big week out of Cameron Young. So, but like we did last week where I threw out some of my favorite plays out of everything I'm giving out, I'm going to do that again. I have two favorite plays here, and then we'll give a full recap before. So my first one is Sam Burns inside the top 20 at plus 125. Kind of like what I was saying, he has four top 10s in his last five starts, has his first in tour on strokes gained putting. I think all this bodes well for Sam Burns going into RBC Canadian Open. Maybe try to pile on another top 20, top 10 finish before going into the U.S. Open. And then my other favorite play for this week is the one we just talked about with Cameron Young inside the top 20. I mean, I'm not going to re-say all the stats I just said, but he's going to be one of the best in this field off the tee to green, and then be one of the best putters we have in this field as well. Yeah, Cameron Young at top 20 at plus 210. I think that's just, I'm just licking my chops, especially looking at those odds. So yeah, before we go, we're going to go through all these plays that we do have this week for the RBC Canadian Open at TPC Ontario at Osprey Valley. Once again, it's just shy of 7,400 yards, and it's a par 70. So we're not going to have a couple of extra of these par fives to see these players find some extra birdies or maybe even eagles. So yeah, all the plays we do have for this weekend is Sam Burns top 20 at plus 125 and top 10 at plus 250. Shane Lowry top 10 at plus 190. We're going to sprinkle on him to win at plus 2,200 as well. Then also inside the top 20, we have Mackenzie Hughes, the Canadian, going to put it on in front of his own crowd, compete for the championship here, but make sure to finish inside the top 20. Then we have Erik Van Rooyen, kind of a popular like golf watcher pick for this week is Erik Van Rooyen to have a good week. I'm with it as well. We have him top 20 at plus 300. And we're throwing a flyer on him to win at plus 90,000. Plus 90,000 for Erik Van Rooyen to win this week. And then the final play, probably my favorite play, even over that Sam Burns top 20, is Cameron Young top 20 plus 210. I think he's in for a great, great weekend here in Canada. Once again, we don't have anything with Rory McIlroy. I know he is the favorite, looking like he can come in and dominate. He's played very well in Canada in his career. 4 for 4 in made cuts, has won a tournament in Canada, has a couple other top tens. He's been a very good player when it comes to these Canada tournaments. I just don't see it this week with Rory. I think either Shane Lowry, Erik Van Rooyen, maybe even like a Sam Burns or something is going to find their way into getting a victory this weekend at the RBC Canadian Open. Either way, I hope it's a very exciting weekend of golf. I hope all you guys enjoy this weekend of golf, as we're just 1 week away from the third major of the U.S. Open. We're going to have a big pod next week breaking this down, maybe bring on a guest or two to see what everyone's thoughts are for the U.S. Open. But until then, this is the RBC Canadian Open. We got some big stuff coming up for this weekend. If you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like down below. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment. Who do you like going into this weekend? Am I stupid for fading Rory like I was for fading Scotty last week? Can someone like Erik Van Rooyen continue this house or maybe turn up a dub here at the RBC Canadian Open? Share this with your fans, families, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Make sure to check out the main episodes of the Untouchables podcast as well. Thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you next time.